Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Corey Tolbert. I'm an adult living with cystic fibrosis here in the Denver, Colorado community. And I'm here today with David and Brittany and their daughter, their daughter Cora Beaver. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Can you say hi? Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and share a little bit about your story and Cora, your life with CF. So I want to just ask you guys first if what was that? Oh, you're B. Hello, B. So I wanted to just ask you all if you would be willing to share a little bit about your experience with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Yes, absolutely. So when Cora was first diagnosed, we actually found out about her diagnosis 2 weeks after she was born. And she was actually diagnosed on Rare Disease Day on February 28th. So we're coming up on her birthday and on her diagnosis day. And when we found out, we were mentioned about the CF Foundation in our initial appointment. And also, right after that, a good friend of mine had been doing some volunteering with the foundation, and we grabbed coffee, and she was telling me more. And I just knew that I had always wanted to be involved with a foundation of some sort, and I now had a really big reason to be connected to one. And so, right away, I had the chance to meet some of the amazing people in the CF Foundation, like Matt and Carson. And truly, from the very beginning, it's just been, I just always say there's no community like the CF community in this foundation. I would say that some of the things we're most grateful for the foundation are the way that they help with all things financial. I mean, being a family with a daughter with CF, the financial strains of, the medications and all the things that we go through can be difficult. And so we're really grateful for all that the foundation provides in that way. Something else that I'm really grateful for is the way that we get to connect with other families. I know that, when you're going through something like this, when you're going through a diagnosis as a family, just being able to connect with other like-minded families who also have a child that's working through a disease diagnosis or the beginning stages, and being able to connect with other people in that way has truly been amazing. And then lastly, I would say just we love the events and just bringing awareness to the CF Foundation. We've gotten to do a lot of events over the years. Well, before 2020, I should say, in 2019 we did. And our favorite has been the CF Cycle for Life, and being able to raise a lot of dollars and funds for the CF Foundation. We have a really fun team name for Cora called Team Cora Force. And 2 years ago, we created jerseys. We had a team of like 17 or 18. And in 2020, we were actually the top fundraising team. So we have really just had an amazing time being able to connect with the CF Foundation. It's done so much for our family, for Cora, and just for other people, being able to just talk about what CF is. And, I didn't even know what CF was when she was first diagnosed. We're really grateful for the foundation and this little
Aw,
one.
that's great. Well, thank you. So you touched on this a little bit already, but I just want to ask if there's any, or actually, what feels most important to you about being a part of the CF Foundation? So being an active part, taking an active part in the CF Foundation itself.
Yes, she agrees. I think for us, it's really been about raising awareness, and then alongside of that, raising dollars to help find a cure. Because like I said, we didn't even know what CF was when she was first diagnosed. And I think because it's a rare disease, so few people do know what CF is. And so for us and for, our family, we want people to know this is what CF is. This is how it affects people all around the world. And this is what we are committed to doing, to bringing awareness to it. And come here, Sophie. We actually have a commitment as a family to raise $1 million for Team Cora Force by the time she graduates from college. That's my big audacious goal that we have as a
Mm.
family. And David and I actually also have some ideas as our kids get older and we have a little bit more time on our hands. We have some really fun ideas of some things that we want to do down the road to help raise funds and bring awareness to the world of CF. And I think another big thing for us really is just supporting couples, supporting marriages, supporting families in this time, because when you go through a really hard diagnosis, I think staying connected, having, a strong support at home is really, really critical. And so being able to connect with other families and those, who have kids of all age ranges with CF is really, really important to David and I, and something that we really love about just Cora and her story, and being able to do that. So
That's great. That's the huge, awesome goal that $1 million by the time she graduates. That's awesome. Hey, so do you guys have any strategies that have helped you kind of cope with the early stages of life with CF for Cora and throughout her diagnosis time?
Yeah, the things that we experienced early on was there's a big news when we heard that our daughter has CF. We have two other daughters that are older than her. Certainly, they didn't get diagnosed, and so when we got her diagnosis, that was something new for us. And I think if we were to look back on that, we felt scared, and sad, and even angry about this new news. And because we didn't know what cystic fibrosis was, we knew that we cared about our daughter, and yeah, we just felt all sorts of things when we first heard that news. And so I think it was helpful for us to stick together as a couple when it was so tempting to just get wrapped up in the doing of all the next steps of what do we need to do, what's the all these appointments. It was a lot at first. And so I think the thing that we are really proud of back then and even to this day is how we've emphasized our marriage together, and how that's a foundation for us, and also a foundation for our daughters, including Cora, and that really shapes how our home life looks. It shapes how the future I think is going to look for us, and so I think that's our best strategy is to really just focus on marriage. And what we did too is just took it one day at a time. Taking it one day at a time was it basically happened on accident. We didn't go into it saying, all right, we heard somebody say take it one day at a time, because we didn't know what that meant. But for us, I think that's how we were able to work through this. And we've had friends or family with great intentions send us plenty of articles or things about cystic fibrosis and success stories, and for us it was hard for us to even read those, because we were so focused on taking it one day at a time that we almost had this just intention or focus or prioritization of let's just focus on Cora, let's focus on what our care team is saying, and versus reading into everything else. It was almost too much for us to take to read anything else about cystic fibrosis, because we were already immersed in having Cora.
Yeah, all that makes good sense. And that's a great strategy just to really build into the strength of your family. Hi, Cora. So that's a perfect entrance to the next question. My next question is there anything that's unique to Cora or a specific special Coraism that has either everything to do or nothing to do with CF, but just anything kind of unique or fun that you'd like to share about Cora
Yeah,
today?
yeah. So the thing that we did early on, again, recommendation from our care team, was the chest physiotherapy. CPT for short, and that's a manual, daily, twice a day process for many people with CF. But with Cora, we started that early for her, and so she really was raised getting CPT twice a day, and I somewhere along the line said that's going to be my job, and so I did that, and so what it did was is that it just there's a lot of emphasis of her just being on my chest or just really being close to me, close to someone else. And so one of the fun core isms happened multiple times even today is that she's so sensitive or snuggly to like on people, especially me at this point, but also Britt and family and so much so that if she sees someone has a vest on, or me if I have my vest on that she doesn't like, she just starts pulling on it and saying off. And so she really has her standards when it comes to getting close and snuggling up. So that's a fun thing. Also, her doctor, Dr. Sagal, refers to her as Little Miss Sunshine because she just has a really great attitude when she is in those visits, and so he always just calls her that, and
she smiles all the time.
Yeah, smiles all the time, and she has this really cool combination of genuine help or concern about what's going on in our house with her sisters or us, but also she has this like grit and tenacity, and the way that we see that is just her courage with her different CF treatments that she's had throughout her life, and she just does it without complaining, and most days, and she's been a trooper is a way to say that. So she's been doing really great with that. And the last thing I would say that back to hi, oh, she was about ready to come in. The last thing I'd say about being a father, and speaking of Brittany with her being a mother, is that we knew that we were just the parents for Cora, and I want to encourage other people that might be in a similar situation, that you are just the parents for Cora, or your own daughter or son, and just like we are, they're just the parents for Cora.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Miss Cora. It's nice to meet you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you all for sharing your story, just taking your time with us today. We really appreciate it. And your story really matters. Oh, I love that little face.
She's her sister.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And on behalf of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, thank you as well for everything you do to help support that mission and to help find a cure for cystic fibrosis. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Thank you.
Bye.